John and I both came to Carson-Newman and majored in chemistry and spent lots of time with Dr. Carl Bonner, who had a real influence on our lives. John, what do you remember?
Well, I remember, well, I worked with him after I graduated for a little while. And he had a lot of things going in those days. I know one of the things I remember because he worked at Oak Ridge on Thursdays every week. So he'd teach organic on Thursday morning and head out. And I worked with him on a cancer research. We were making materials for use in cancer research. And this was my senior year. And it was the one that encouraged me to get into chemistry after I came, I was going to be an accountant.
Oh, wow.
And I took chemistry, took the more advanced levels I'd had in high school. And he told me after that year that I should take some more. So I decided, I remember it took a long time to finally decide that was probably a good way to go. And I stayed with it.
And it really led you to go to North Carolina
I went to
Virginia.
Yeah, I got a PhD at Virginia.
Wow. And worked in organic chemistry for Tennessee Eastman for the rest of his career. And I'll say a little more because my brother doesn't, as he said, talk as much as I do. But John, after graduation, after getting his PhD, Dr. Bonner wanted John to come back on the faculty, right, John? Mm-hmm. And after much reflection, John decided to go work for Tennessee Eastman. But it was really nice, and it was also, of course, appreciation by Dr. Bonner of John's ability. I'm the little brother, and I came here really in John's shadow in that way. But I decided to go to become a doctor and go into medicine before coming to Carson-Newman. I already had been influenced by, I think, by our family doctor. Family doctor took care of all of us. That I wanted to be like him. And so I came with a plan to be a pre-med student, which meant at Carson-Newman to have a chemistry major most of the time. And I really began classes as a sophomore with Dr. Bonner. And I told a story at our 50th anniversary last night about having to do the quantitative chemistry course and going and sitting in Dr. Bonner's office, and he would close the door and he'd ask you for your answer, and then he'd get out a book from the drawer to see whether your answer matched his answer or the right answer. And you'd sit there in suspended animation for several minutes, and he'd say, "You got it right, or you have to do it over." Right, John?
Right, because I had one that I had an awful lot of trouble with, and I think I did it over 30 times. We finally did statistics on it and quit.
Anyway, he was a good teacher because both he loved the students, but he also expected a lot of us.
Yeah.
Because this was a do-it-yourself operation.
Yeah, he was the only person in chemistry the first 2 years I was here, and then Dr. Myers came in my junior year.
Okay.
But he was not. Dr. Bonner did organic chemistry basically, and Dr. Myers taught physical chemistry.